Hello everybody, this is Travis from the Interactive Distractions podcast, and I'm here to give you my top 5 most anticipated games of 2016. Let's get into it. Dark Souls 3. Number 5 on the list comes from developer From Software, who is mainly known for their hit series Armored Core. Just kidding. The gaming world has been swooning over the Souls franchise since Demon's Souls released back in 2009 with their extremely unforgiving third-person action RPG. With Dark Souls 3 looming, some voices over the internet are questioning whether we are witnessing an oversaturation of this acclaimed series. I, for one, do not share that sentiment. Even though Dark Souls 3 has a lot to live up to, there's little doubt that From Software will be bringing the wood, so to speak, in what they deem as the grand finale in their Sacred Souls series. I'm prepared to die over and over and over again, and cannot be more excited to see what they can throw at us this year. Uncharted 4, A Thieves End. Across the span of the PS3's rich lifestyle, no game or series has been able to exemplify itself as the gold standard in exclusivity like the Uncharted trilogy. The most exciting factor regarding Uncharted 4 is the opportunity to see how the series will attempt to wow its fans now that Drake and company are finally hopping onto the PS4 gravy train. The addition of Troy Baker as Nathan's long-lost brother Sam adds a new level of excitement to Uncharted 4 because we finally get to experience two of the most iconic male voices in video games starring side by side in what could be the most riveting addition to the series to date. So which previous Uncharted characters will return? Will we see more advanced and cleaned up third-person combat mechanics? Will Nathan Drake or Sully die? These are just a few of the questions people are asking now that developer Naughty Dog publicly stated that this is indeed the end of Uncharted 4's story and that it would be, quote, really hard to do a sequel with Nathan Drake in it, unquote. I guess only time will tell. Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect was easily the greatest new IP of last generation. The first trilogy may not have concluded the way some people would have hoped, but that shouldn't come close to taking away from the many unforgettable moments carried out and transferred across each installment and the relationships players built for lead character Commander Shepard. Andromeda will focus on a brand new protagonist this time around, created and shaped by the player. Many fans and critics across the World Wide Web speculate that the game will focus on the exploration of a brand new galaxy, and the Firefly-esque Wild West theme of the trailers certainly support this theory. We've seen steady improvements over the span of the first 3 Mass Effect titles, and now that it's being made for a new generation of consoles, saying that we are simply excited to begin a brand new BioWare space opera is probably the understatement of the entire year. Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, we've recently been mentally electrified by the announcements like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, causing some titles collected in our internal hype machines to get bumped off to the side a bit. Let's not forget that the new IP, Horizon Zero Dawn, warped our fragile little minds when Guerrilla Games released their breakout trailer at Sony's E3 presser last year. The only honest criticism that I can give about this game right now is the canned and unnecessary subtitle Zero Dawn. Just get rid of it. Horizon debuted with stellar graphics, a kick-ass female lead, a gorgeous open world, RPG mechanics, survival, and crafting features. Plus, you get to take down a cyborg T-Rex with a mechanized bow and arrow. Seriously, what's not to love about this game? Oh man, that's never gonna get old. And finally, my most anticipated game of 2016, Persona 5. I love the Persona series, especially Persona 4 Golden on the PlayStation Vita. I love the characters, the relationships you form, the combat, the music, and pretty much everything else the game had to offer. It reminded me that some companies are still willing and are able to make good JRPGs. In the West, Persona is a very good video game, but in Japan, it's a state of mind. So it's not hard to understand why JRPG fans worldwide are salivating for this game's release. Atlus has been hard at work on Persona 5 for quite some time and is set to drop sometime this year. We've only seen a handful of gameplay clips from the last couple trailers, but from what we can tell, the new dungeons come off as more dynamic, plus the graphics and the new user interface looks amazing and really do stand apart from previous titles. Atlus seems to be going back to a darker tone with Persona 5 with an edgier story just like they did back in Persona 3. From the small amounts of info given, I cannot wait to see what wacky, dark, and sadistic storyline Atlas comes up with this time around. I'm also psyched to see what additions come into fruition, with this being Atlas's first console Persona since the PlayStation 2. Here's to a worldwide simultaneous release in 2016, because I seriously do not want to live in a world where I cannot play Persona 5 this year. Thanks for tuning into the video, and if you enjoyed it, please comment below on your most anticipated games, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also, be sure to check out the Interactive Distractions podcast weekly on iTunes or any RSS feed of your choosing.